Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Dude by Zentangle. And thanks to Kathy on the Tangle Addicts community Facebook page, we kind of had some kind of joking, I think, going back and forth with a bunch of us. Kathy posted this really beautiful tangle that she had done, including Dude, and so there was conversation about it's kind of a challenging tangle, and I had not looked at it before. I've seen it. I personally kind of put it into my mental pile of, ooh, that looks to be challenging. So I'll do that sometime. So anyway, sometime is here, and I thought, well, through the conversation, I was just very inspired to take a look at this tangle, and maybe, the Heather's way of doing things, so it's easy for Heather. Maybe that'll help somebody. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. So, for some reason I like doing that. I'm gonna just do this on the straight side here. All right, so. If you have done the Tangle Fescue or Opus, I think there's some other ones that do this. This is how we're going to start out. So I'm going to start out with a somewhat curved line, and I'm going to go to the left here and making a little loop at the end and filling it in. So we're going to do basically, 5 or as many as I can fit, up here. We're going to do one going in the other direction. So I'm going to start it about halfway, 3/4 of the way. I'm starting it part way up. So I'm gonna just guess it's like halfway. It doesn't really matter. All right. And we're just gonna do it like that. So some of it, you can bend these kind of however you want to. You don't have to go in a straight line if you don't want to, but this way we'll get it as the step outs were shown. And actually, honestly, looking at the step outs on the Zentangle Mosaic app, I was just like, oh goodness. And so it took a bit of work for me to get it into my head and into my hand. But I think, by George, we'll see at the end if I've gotten it or not. All right, so we have here, and then we're alternating one aiming to the right side, and then we're going to do another one going into the. So we're just alternating these back and forth. Now you can go halfway up, but if you start it, leaving a little bit of space right here, and then what I was doing is just kind of curving it a little bit, as to kind of make a straight line-ish. Like I said, you can kind of do whatever you want. And then the same thing here, going on the opposite side. Some of mine turn out a little bit weird, but that's all right, as we know. Well, if you don't know, if this is the first video that you have watched on Zentangle, there's no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle. There are none. All right, so, and then I'll do a last one here, going with the little ball part going to the left. And let me tell you also, if don't worry about this part. Just don't put it right against it. You want to leave some space. But if you're up too far, that's okay too. All right. Now this was challenge. Well, actually, no. This was challenge number 1. I think every step of the way it was like, oh, okay. I don't understand. And I know there's a couple videos. I will try to locate them and put them in the description box, which will be along with my step outs. Now, my step outs, I made some extra steps to the steps that I saw on the Zentangle Mosaic, because it really, I think it helped me to get it clear in my head. But if I find those videos, I'll watch. I didn't watch any. I was like, I'm going to see if I can do this all by myself. And I don't know, I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, so then the next step is we're essentially going to aura this, but we're going to aura it in stages. And if you don't know, to aura is basically to outline. So what we're going to do is from this point right here, and I'm just going to start I'm going to do this on the left side. So from right here, now if you need to bring it down a little bit, you can, because we're going to aura this. And you can decide how, the distance that you want to aura it. In the pictures that I saw, it was, kind of close, but that's up to you. We get to add our own flair in. All right, then working up the stalk here, we're going to go to this one. So this little stem, and I just brought it down a little bit myself, and auraing, and then this one we're landing right here on the previous aura. So then the top one is a little bit difficult. Or not, that's the wrong word. It's different. Starts with a D. All All right, so here's what I did. This one kind of, and I didn't do this in 2 stages on the step out, but I'm going to do it in 2 steps so that way you can see. This is how I ended up doing it. Is I'm going to do an aura right here, because we're doing this same shape throughout. So knowing that, so I left a little room, and I did this aura, and then I'm taking it, from where I started, coming around and ending it right here. So that there's a little gap, because we're going to take that and go around, just like we did on this side. Now here's one thing that wasn't clear that I needed to make clear for myself, and this is how I have it on my step outs. So once you do this top, come back down to the bottom, because it's a little easier. And then we're going to take, just like we did on this side, we're going to take from this point, and we're going to aura around and down. And then you can, aura, because this, doesn't go to the bottom, so just aura right around it. And then coming back up to right where we were, same thing. And this is essentially it. But I know in my step outs and where I have seen it, they add some. So let me show you how to do that. And then it will also reiterate some of these steps, so that way you don't have to rewind. Okay, so I'm going to add one to this side. And you can flip-flop them, either way. So I'm going to start, I think I'll start this one. Well, no, I don't know. No, I think I'll start, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to start this one opposite direction. That way, too, we can kind of talk through that. So, kind of like a fescue, with a big ball on the end. And then, again, starting partway up this stem. And then, having the ball, aiming it towards the other direction. And then, like I said, if you can start it right here, now that you've seen this, and, in one of those, as you go through it, then it's like, oh, well, instead of me dragging this down a little bit, I'm going to start where I know I need to be. Like I said, and you can kind of bend that as you want to. So if you're wanting to make somewhat of a straight line, but this is, again, where you get to add your flare in however you want. Okay, and then sometimes I'm having to remember, it's like, oh yes, and I'm going like this, and then I'm going over to the other side. And you don't have to do, what do I have here? 3 on one side, 2 on the other. Whatever combination you want to do, you can, now that you understand the process of it. All right, and we'll put this one here. We'll make this one a little bit shorter. Okay, so going the opposite direction. So we're going to aura, and this might be a way to think of it also. So we're going to aura whatever the first one was. Okay, it's because then if we go up from there, we see that end of the stem, and that's where we're going to start that aura and come down. And then same thing here, we're going up to the end of the stem before that, the last ball, the last end, and we do like that. Now the one on top, remember, we're going to, however you want to do it. I mean, you could start from here and aura all the way around. Well, let me do that just to show you. And stopping right here. And then the reason that I decided to go all the way back down to the base is because for this, so well, if I had to aura, well, then I don't have anything to land on here, because all of these other ones were landing on that previous aura. So that's my rationale behind doing it this way. Of course, you could do it, whatever way that you want to, and whatever works best for you. And then this one, I'm going to use a hollow bow technique, so I'm going to draw behind that there. And that's why I've left that gap. I picked up my pen, traveled it over, if you don't know what hollow bow means, and then continued it right there. All right. Now we'll do another one, so that way we'll have a kind of a third time through here. Oh, and I think this one, I guess I'll go the same direction. Maybe a little bit shorter. We'll see. This could be kind of fun, because then you can kind of have them wind around, if you will. And you see me, I'm hesitating every time, getting to this spot, because it's like, am I doing that right? Yes, no. And then, and I'm kind of making mine kind of wiggly, and I think that's just kind of neat. All right, then going to the base, hitting that stem above the base, and starting my auras that way, and then going up to the next one, and being careful because, you know, it's nice to aura the, you know, whatever, if you're making a curve like this, it's nice to aura that. All right, and then this one I'm going to do the 2-step one again. So auraing just that part, and then coming back and auraing the top, stopping there, coming back down to, I guess this would be the second one. It's not quite, it's the base on this side, we could say it that way. And auraing, and then finishing this one. All right, so then some finishing steps are basically just continuing the aura, and there, this is, again, however you want to do it. So we're just going to put some lines in here. So just continuing the aura, and this is, you know, however, this is one of those kind of, well, you just kind of make it up as you go type of thing. Let's see if I can do like that. And, you know, whatever that you think looks right. It's kind of nice, you know, filling in the, you know, the tight sections. You can kind of decide, like, I think I'm going to aura that. Maybe one here. I think I'll leave it there. And then here where it's more enclosed. That's the word I'm looking for. And then just, oh, there we go, a little tight one in there. But just doing some auraing, and maybe I'll do a little bit right here. But again, this is, you know, to however you feel in doing that, you know. All right, then some shading. So we're basically from the step out. Now you of course can shade however you want. This is just what I decided to do from what I had seen, and it's a good start. So I'm basically taking graphite and putting it around, basically in these areas where I put the extra lines at the end. So I'm putting graphite around the original design, or the original tangle. And then with the tortillon, we'll spread it out just a little bit. And there's, you know, one of those, there's a lot, so many ways that you can add neat dimension with this. But you know, for right now, I just want to keep this simple. So that way we'll at least get the tangle down, and, you know, one way to shade it. And then if you come up with some other ways, then awesome. But you see how that, you know, it makes it pop. It's kind of neat. Actually, part of me is thinking, oh, if I just add some right there. Ooh, look at that. Like on this outside, I did say I was going to, well, leave that to you. But this was just screaming to have that be done. And see how that just adds some extra dimension. So, how neat. And actually could do like right here. And I'm just using what's left on my tortillon. So it's not real dark. It's just a little hint of. So, super neat. Of course, you can add color, you know, the creativity of it after, you know, the initial tangle is up to you. And then even with this one, because I would put this in the category of organic because it kind of grows out of itself. You know, you can take that as long as you want. You can just have one stream and have it become a border. You don't have to add the extra stuff, but that's, you know, that's what they had in the step out, so I wanted to make sure to at least do that. So with that, I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed, number one, the challenge, and of kind of I joke about I'm going to have these nemesis tangle list for myself. This wasn't quite on it because I hadn't tried it before, so and now it won't be on there. It's kind of a really, really neat tangle. And again, so if you liked it, would love to have a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, would love to have you subscribe if you think you want to you liked it enough to see more. And if you do subscribe, make sure to hit the notification bell that's next to it so you can decide what type of notifications you want to receive. Feel free to put comments in the comment section, and check us out on Facebook. Check out the website, all of that. We'd love to connect with you. And with that, I wish you happy tangling.